A shadow is creeping over the supply chain, a quiet threat that is about to make certain survival staples vanish from grocery store shelves. While the masses remain oblivious, a deadline is approaching faster than anyone realizes. By the time the panic starts, the essentials will already be gone. I have been monitoring the patterns, the silent warnings that the mainstream media will never report. What I'm about to show you is a list of 7 items that will disappear first. Pay close attention to number 4. It's the one most people, even experienced preppers, will completely forget. This oversight will prove to be a devastating mistake. The shelves are full now, but that is a temporary illusion. The clock is ticking. 1. The psychological anchors of the apocalypse: caffeine and comfort brews. When the lights go out and the supply chains shatter, the first casualties aren't just physical, they are mental. The silence of a dead city is deafening, and the crushing weight of a collapsing society breaks the unprepared mind long before hunger sets in. This is where the desperate craving for normalcy becomes a dangerous weakness. In this new, harsh reality, caffeine ceases to be a morning ritual and transforms into a critical survival utility. We are talking about the dark, potent brews of coffee and tea commodities that the naive dismiss as mere luxuries. They are wrong. When the grid fails and your world shrinks to the 4 walls of your home, these substances become the only tether to sanity you have left. The withdrawal from caffeine in a high-stress survival scenario is a debilitator you cannot afford. Imagine the blinding headaches, the lethargy, and the irritability striking exactly when you need to be hyper-vigilant. A simple cup of coffee or tea acts as a chemical weapon against the creeping fog of despair. It sharpens the senses when the shadows lengthen, keeping you alert during the long, terrifying nights of watch duty. It forces the brain to snap out of panic mode and into tactical awareness. Furthermore, the psychological impact of brewing a hot drink amidst chaos cannot be overstated. It is a fleeting moment of control in a world spiraling into anarchy. That warmth in your hands is a reminder of the life that was lost, a small morale booster that can mean the difference between giving up and pushing through one more day of hell. Beyond personal consumption, these items will become the new gold standard of the black market. When paper money is nothing more than kindling for the fire, a vacuum-sealed brick of coffee or a box of tea bags will buy you safety, silence, or passage. Desperate neighbors, shaking from withdrawal and terrified of the new world order, will trade their most valuable possessions for a taste of the old world. While others stockpile useless trinkets, you hold the keys to alertness and comfort. Ignore this at your peril. When the collapse grinds on for months, the person with the caffeine controls the morale, and arguably, the block. 2. The mineral of life and death: sodium and flavor enhancers. There is a silent killer waiting in the wings of every survival plan, one that strikes without warning. It isn't a marauder or a wild beast. It is the slow, agonizing decline of the body denied its basic chemical needs. Salt is not a condiment. In the grim future awaiting us, salt is life. It is the electrolyte that keeps your muscles firing and your heart beating when you are exerted beyond exhaustion. As you sweat through the labor of survival, hauling water, fortifying shelter, running from danger, you are bleeding sodium. Without a stockpile to replenish it, your body will begin to shut down. Confusion sets in, muscles cramp into useless knots, and eventually, your system collapses. The stores will run dry of this essential mineral almost instantly, and once it's gone, it is gone. But the horror doesn't stop at biological failure. The psychological torture of a bland, monotonous diet is a breaker of wills. Rice and beans, day after day, week after week, become sawdust in your mouth. Appetite fatigue is real and dangerous. If you cannot stomach your rations, you starve with a full belly. Salt, along with a heavy arsenal of spices, garlic powder, cayenne, black pepper, transforms survival gruel into something edible. It tricks the brain into feeling satisfied, providing a brief respite from the misery of your existence. These powders and granules are the difference between a meal that fuels you and a meal that depresses you. Consider the barter value in a lawless world. When the grocery stores are looted skeletons, flavor becomes a forgotten memory for the masses. A small container of salt or a jar of spices becomes a king's ransom. You could trade a shaker of garlic powder for ammunition, antibiotics, or fuel. Historically, salt has been used as currency for a reason: it preserves, it sustains, and it enhances. In the dark times ahead, those who stockpile these minor ingredients will feast like royalty, while the rest choke down flavorless mush, their spirits breaking a little more with every tasteless bite. Do not underestimate the power of flavor. In a world stripped of joy, it is a weapon of immense influence. 3. the caloric backbone of the new dark age, ancient grains. As the veneer of civilization peels away, the modern diet will vanish overnight. The shelves stripped of bread and pasta will never be replenished. What remains for the survivor is the need for dense, reliable, long-term energy. This is where the ancient, versatile grains, quinoa, barley, millet, become the bedrock of your existence. These are not trendy health foods. They are the caloric backbone of the new dark age. While the unprepared riot over the last loaf of moldy bread, you must have buckets of these hard kernels hidden away. They are the fuel that will power you through the brutal physical reality of a post-collapse world. Quinoa, specifically, is a powerhouse that could save your life when meat is a distant memory. It is one of the few plant sources that offers a complete protein profile. In a world where hunting is dangerous and livestock is scarce, this grain keeps your muscles from wasting away. It cooks fast, conserving your precious fuel supplies, and fills the belly with essential nutrients. Barley and millet are equally vital, offering variety and texture to a diet that would otherwise drive you mad. They bulk up soups, stretch meager rations, and provide the slow-burning carbohydrates necessary for heavy labor and vigilance. These grains are the ultimate survival insurance because of their durability. Properly sealed, they sit in the dark, waiting for years, immune to the rot that claims fresh food. They are compact, dense energy, stored in a way that is easy to hide from prying eyes. When the starving masses are desperate for anything to fill the void in their stomachs, your stockpile of grains represents power. You can feed your family, or you can wield influence over those who didn't prepare. A scoop of barley could buy loyalty. A bag of quinoa could buy silence. In the harsh landscape of the future, calories are the only currency that truly matters. And these grains are your bank vault. Ignore them, and you resign yourself to a slow, weak death. Secure them, and you build a foundation that can weather the fiercest storm. 4. The silent flesh, shelf-stable protein reserves. When the grid inevitably fails and the hum of refrigeration is silenced forever, the clock starts ticking on every ounce of fresh meat in existence. It will rot, fester, and become poison within days. In this new, darkened world, protein transforms from a dietary staple into the rarest of commodities, the building block of life itself. Your body, stripped of modern conveniences and forced into the brutal labor of survival, will scream for it. Without a consistent supply of protein, your muscles will atrophy, your immune system will collapse, and you will become prey to both disease and the desperate souls who didn't prepare. This is why you must hoard shelf-stable proteins now, while the stores are still blissfully stocked and the masses remain asleep at the wheel. Consider the humble can of chicken or the vacuum-sealed block of tofu. In a functioning society, these are convenience items. In the coming collapse, they are gold bullion. Canned meats require no electricity, no preparation, and no heat if the situation is dire enough. They are ready to eat calories that can be consumed in the dark, in silence, away from the prying eyes of starving neighbors. But do not overlook the plant-based powerhouses. Shelf-stable tofu and dehydrated bean flakes are the secret weapons of the astute survivor. Bean flakes, specifically, rehydrate in moments, requiring barely a whisper of precious water or fuel, yet they deliver the slow-burning energy needed to keep watch through the long, terrifying nights. There is a grim reality to protein starvation that most cannot comprehend. It isn't just hunger, it is a fundamental breakdown of the self. Cognitive function slides into a fog, wounds refuse to heal, and the will to fight evaporates. By securing protein powders, pure whey or pea isolate, without the frivolous additives, you secure a lifeline that can be mixed with mere water to sustain life when cooking is impossible. These powders are compact, easily hidden, and incredibly dense in value. When the barter economy rises from the ashes of the dollar, a single scoop of protein or a can of meat will trade for far more than gold ever did. It will buy influence, it will buy labor, and ultimately, it will buy you one more day of breath in a suffocating world. 5. The liquid energy, multi-purpose lipid stores. There is a fatal flaw in most survival stockpiles, a gaping hole that will lead to a slow, agonizing decline, the absence of fat. In the brutal calculus of survival, calories are king, and nothing delivers dense, life-sustaining energy like oil. When the supermarkets are looted shells and the supply trucks have stopped running, your body will burn through its reserves at a terrifying rate. The cold will seep into your bones, and the physical exertion of existing in a collapsed society will demand fuel that rice and beans simply cannot provide. This is where your hidden cache of multi-purpose cooking oils becomes the difference between vitality and a slow, wasting death. You need oils that defy the decay of time. Refined coconut oil is a miracle of preservation, able to sit on a shelf for years without turning rancid, waiting for the moment you need it most. It is calorie-dense, packing a massive energetic punch in every spoonful, vital for maintaining body heat and physical strength when the world turns cold and hard. But its value extends far beyond the frying pan. In a world plunged into permanent darkness, a jar of coconut oil becomes a source of light. A simple wick turns it into a long-burning candle that can illuminate your shelter without the harsh chemical smell of kerosene. It is a salve for wounds when medicine is scarce, a lubricant for tools that must not fail, and a fire starter when the wood is damp and hope is fading. Avocado oil serves as another pillar of this lipid strategy. Its high smoke point allows you to cook over the unpredictable, searing heat of open fires without ruining your precious food. It is neutral, versatile, and packed with heart-healthy fats that your body desperately needs to function. Storing these oils in smaller, manageable containers is a tactical necessity. A large jug, once opened, is a ticking clock of spoilage. Small bottles allow for rationing, trade, and concealment. In the grim future we face, the person with the oil controls the flavor, the fire, and the fuel. Those without it will find their meals inedible and their bodies withering away, consuming their own muscle for energy until there is nothing left but skin and bone. 6. The source of life. Infinite shelf-life water. It is the arrogance of the modern age to assume the taps will never run dry. We are so accustomed to the endless flow of clean water that we cannot conceive of a world where it stops. But when the infrastructure crumbles, when the pumps lose power, and the treatment plants go silent, thirst will be the first and most terrifying killer. You can survive weeks without food, but without water, you are dead in days. And not just dead, you die mad, your mind fracturing from dehydration before your heart finally stops. The plastic bottles you see on store shelves are a temporary illusion. They degrade, they leak, and they are not designed for the long, dark winter of a societal collapse. You need water that is engineered to outlast the catastrophe. We are talking about hermetically sealed, long shelf-life water, the kind that comes in metallized pouches or heavy-duty cans, designed to sit in the darkness for decades without spoiling or leaching toxic chemicals. This is your private reservoir, your shield against the chaos that will erupt when the city water turns brown and then stops altogether. When the panic hits, the masses will descend on the grocery stores like locusts, fighting and killing for a single case of water. You will not be among them. You will be safe behind your locked doors, drawing from a supply that is invisible to the desperate mobs outside. This water is stackable, durable, and silent. It does not glug or crinkle like cheap plastic. It waits quietly until the moment of absolute necessity. The logistical nightmare of a water crisis cannot be overstated. You need water to rehydrate your freeze-dried meals, to clean the wounds that would otherwise fester into sepsis, and to maintain the hygiene that prevents dysentery from wiping out your family. Filters and purification tablets are useful tools, but they rely on a source, a river, a lake, rain that may be miles away, or poisoned with industrial runoff and sewage. Having a static, guaranteed supply of pure water buys you the most valuable commodity of all: time. Time to assess the threat, time to fortify your position, and time to wait out the initial wave of violence that will wash over the cities. Without this reserve, all your other preparations are meaningless dust. 7. The white dust of sustenance. Powdered dairy and alternatives. As the collapse stretches from weeks into agonizing months, the psychological toll of a stripped-down existence begins to weigh as heavily as the physical one. The comfort of a creamy texture, the nutritional density of milk, these are things that vanish instantly when the refrigeration grid dies. Fresh dairy is a memory of a lost civilization. But for the prepared, there is the white dust of sustenance, powdered milk, and its plant-based alternatives. This is not the chalky substance of the past, but a lifeline of calcium, protein, and fats that can bring a semblance of normalcy to a chaotic world. It is a force multiplier for your survival pantry, turning meager rations into morale-boosting meals that can keep despair at bay. Powdered milk is a tactical asset because of its incredible versatility and longevity. Sealed properly, it can remain viable for 20 years, a silent nutritional battery stored against the day the lights go out. It transforms plain oats into a comforting porridge, adds critical calories to soups, and allows for baking that can lift the spirits of a weary group. For those with children, this item is non-negotiable. The familiar taste of milk can be the anchor that keeps a child calm in the midst of turmoil. Furthermore, for the lactose intolerant or those seeking variety, Coconut milk powder and oat milk powder offer high-fat, high-energy alternatives that are essential for maintaining weight when every day is a battle for survival. The strategic value of powdered milk extends to its portability and trade potential. It is lightweight nutrition that can be thrown into a rucksack if you are forced to flee your home. It doesn't weigh you down like canned goods, yet it yields gallons of sustenance. In the barter markets of the New World, a sealed bag of milk powder will be a currency of high regard, traded for ammunition, medicine, or protection. It represents comfort, health, and maternal care, primal needs that people will pay dearly to satisfy. By ignoring this item, you deny yourself a critical tool for maintaining not just physical health, but the psychological resilience required to endure the fall of society. Secure it now, or watch your options and your strength wither away. The window of opportunity is not just shrinking, it is slamming shut. The 7 items we have discussed, coffee, salt, grains, proteins, oils, water, and powdered milk, are not merely groceries. They are the fragile barrier between you and the abyss. When the veneer of civilization finally cracks and the chaos spills into the streets, these commodities will vanish into the shadows, hoarded by the few who saw the writing on the wall. Do not mistake this silence for safety. The systems we rely on are straining under invisible weights, and when they snap, there will be no warning, no grace period, and no second chances. You have been given the map to survival. Whether you choose to act now or become a casualty of your own hesitation is entirely up to you. But remember this, when the shelves are bare and the darkness falls, regret will be the only thing left to eat. Secure your future today, or prepare to fade away with the rest of the unprepared.